What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. We finally come to the end of the road. Atlanta Season 2 finale, Crabs in a Barrel. Being on the West Coast, I don't get to see Atlanta early. Like everybody on the East Coast, they get to see it before me. And so I tend to avoid spoilers and being on Twitter and everything like that. But the one thing that I was able to see is that a lot of people thought that this felt like a series finale over like an actual season finale. And so I went into this episode watching it a lot more scared than usual. Because let's be honest, does anybody think that Atlanta was going to give you a truly happy ending? I think what we got with this episode is the happiest ending that we possibly could get. In many ways, this episode mirrored the first one in a sense that everything's kind of come full circle for Earn. We get to see a lot of the same things that happened in episode 1 of season 1 that occur sort of similar but slightly different. And this is meant to show off the growth of Earn as a character. He's still trying to prove to Paperboy that he is the man for the job. He should be his manager. And that's evident throughout the entire episode where he's just feeling like he's failing. Like trying to find an entertainment lawyer. He's not succeeding in that. There's other things, like there's the couch that they sat on in episode 1. It comes back into play. They're sitting there, they're smoking, they're having a good time. There's also Earn's old job at the airport. He walks past and immediately cuts off the new employees. Like, nope, just keep walking. And that shows you like kind of how much he hated that job and how just over that company he was. With this episode, Earn is still struggling. And I think it's a callback to season 1, because season 1 was all about Earn struggling. Season 2, for the most part, turned Earn into an asshole. This episode was a reminder that yes, he's struggling and that he also needs to do better for Alfred, for his daughter, for himself. So let's talk about the part where I truly started to get afraid. I was paranoid when I saw the gold pistol come back into play. This was from episode 1 of season 2. He got it from Uncle Willie. And I love that this is a callback to that first episode. Because if you recall, in that episode, Uncle Willie said, here, you'll need this for the music business. And it's pretty cool to think about it because at the time, you didn't know what that meant. The whole tagline is Robin season. So what if Earn had ended up having to use the pistol? Like really use it? Like that's what a lot of us probably would have assumed. Again, Atlanta was kind of weird in a sense that you never know what small detail might come back. There's some things that have popped back up and there's other things that, you know, have just kind of came and went. But it's little details that like that make me appreciate Atlanta even more. So the whole gold pistol and the backpack thing, I'm thinking, oh, he's got a flight and he is going to get caught. I thought that would be the ending. Like he gets caught, something happens like that. So I was surprised when I seen what actually happened. He was able to get that pistol from his backpack and put it in Clark County's and try to frame him. Because Clark is the headliner of the Europe tour. And Earn believes that Alfred should be the headliner. So, in a sense, this is all about doing what he has to do to prove to Alfred that he deserves to be his manager and that he's willing to do whatever it takes. Because framing somebody really doesn't feel like an earnest quality. It doesn't. If you would have looked back at like season 1 and said one day that Earn would essentially ruin someone's life, you wouldn't have been able to believe it. Just the person. And I think that is due in part to the influence that Alfred has on him. we definitely see that influence because now he's doing whatever he has to do in order to win. He's at that point. He's essentially at rock bottom. And so when you hit rock bottom, you do things that you normally wouldn't do. It's so like that final scene where Earn and Paperboy are on the plane and they're talking. Like, that made me feel like I'm just watching it and I'm like, damn, Earn, like, he just looks real distressed, but he's trying to hide it. Like I said, it's not in Earn's character to do what he did, but he did it. And then we find out that Clark County isn't even going down. His manager, Lucas, took the fall, which is probably the smarter move. Let's be honest. He's white. He'll probably get a lighter sentence if Atlanta comes back for season 3. I could imagine them doing something there where he gets, like, I don't know, a year. Maybe he serves 3 months and does the rest of it on probation. I don't know. But the fact that Earn tried to get Alfred that headlining spot and failed still proved to be successful for him because Alfred understands, like, family and loyalty and how Earn understands him. And there's so many other people in the world that don't. So essentially trying to do that and failing, he still establishes that he's going to be the manager. Like, he's not in any fear of being fired at this current moment. So this episode shows us just how much Earn has grown since the beginning of the series. That's part of the reason why it feels like a definitive end. Donald Glover seems like he is notorious for not allowing himself to be tied down to something for too long. You look at every Childish Gambino album, everything sounds different. He's not trying to make the same music over and over and over again. He's always trying to reinvent himself. He's always trying to grow in a sense that, like, you know, Kanye does. Kanye doesn't make the same album twice. There's also the fact that he was on Community for 4 seasons and then decided that it was time to go. And he didn't even return for the series finale. So I look at it like Glover is not going to allow himself to stay with a project longer than he feels it's necessary. And oftentimes, a lot of the stuff that he does is short term. So is there more to tell in the world of Atlanta? I think it's possible. At the same time, if this is truly the end of the series, if it doesn't come back for a season 3 for whatever reason, I feel like Earn, Alfred, Darius, and to a lesser extent Vanessa have all established themselves as some of the greatest black TV characters in this generation. Atlanta is one of the greatest black TV series in history. I question now that they have this ending. I question if adding more would hurt the legacy. Obviously, with a show this good, you want it to continue in some ways. But in others, at least for me, I'm thinking if they do a season 3, can they possibly do it as great as season 1 and 2? The more that you add, the more it hurts the legacy of something. If Atlanta is truly finished, it's done, then I feel like it has such a strong legacy. I would love to see another season or 2. I feel like there's more story to tell with these characters. On the opposite end, more doesn't always add to your legacy. The more that you have, the more that you take the risk of failing. At some point, somebody's going to be like, yeah, this is not it. We see so many shows go too long and then we're like, yeah, the golden years were right here. Everything else after this was just bad. It was disappointing. And I think that's part of why Donald Glover doesn't attach himself to something for too long. With the TV series, he wants to tell a story. He wants to share messages. He wants to make something with a lot of depth to it. And I think he accomplished that with Atlanta. So at this current moment in time, we don't know what the future of Atlanta is. Who knows if we'll even find out this year. I think part of like this feeling that we're all having, like, damn, that's really like a definitive end to the series. Part of that helps that we don't get a renewal notice anytime soon. Like, Donald and FX should just keep us in the dark for a while. So we're just thinking, damn, is it coming back? Is it coming back? And eventually we'll have an answer to that. So those are all of my thoughts that I had about Atlanta's Season 2 finale, possibly the very end, crabs in a barrel. After you watch this episode, I want to know what you think about it in the comment section below. Do you think that Atlanta will return for a Season 3? Should it? Or is this the perfect ending that Donald Glover and his team can possibly give us? Talk to me in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter @SermonsDomain. Check out some of my other videos. I got reviews, interviews, discussions. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.